Hi and welcome everyone. This is Varleigh at Lavender Sky Panther with you on Wednesday, December 11th, 2024. This show is called Crystals Talk 2 with Varleigh at Lavender Sky Panther. It's a follow-up show to my previous one I did recently, and this one is going to involve some new stone companions or crystal companions I came upon a couple days ago, and also to round out the balance of what I wanted to cover in the first show, but it was already long enough, so I am just going to touch on highlighting a few very interesting crystals and stones. I'm also going to be giving you just some highlights of some of the healing properties and other interesting properties some of these stones have and crystals have. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put my sources of the information for that in the description area below, because there are a lot of interesting sites that some give a little more detail than others, but I do invite you to do your own digging and research as well. I'm going to rattle off a few things that, are characteristic of some of these beautiful stones and crystals, and you might go and do your own digging around on the internet and elsewhere and discover even more, interesting meanings and things that are more meaningful to you. So I am kind of now just realizing I set everything up outside, and I'm realizing now that there's daylight savings time, so I have far less time than I thought to record this. But maybe that's a good thing. That's going to force me to keep the running time on this show pretty tight. So again, this is just to kind of whet your appetite, so to speak, maybe give you some inspiration on some of these stones, and maybe it's a springboard for you to investigate further on your own to find out more about this fascinating world of crystals. So I'm going to start off with little groupings. I think I'll give you a little overview of where I'm headed. So I've got like one little cluster of stones here, crystals here. Those are the new ones I picked up recently, and I give a big shout out to the Gem and Mineralogy show and everybody involved with that recently in Miami. Very kind people there with beautiful collections at that show. It's a really beautiful show. Then we're going to move over into this grouping. I'll explain why those are set up that way later. Then we have these, which are more slices and other interesting things. We have hearts, we have trees, crystal trees, and with wire wrapping. And then we have another kind of, it's not an odd lot, but it's like a mix and match of different crystals, including thunder eggs and geodes and other interesting things. So let me get right into this, and I'm moving slowly. I don't want to get anybody motion sick. Okay, I am going to be consulting my notes, just because there's, as you can see, just a lot of detailed information in here, but I'm only going to call out the highlights that just happen to jump off the page. So first of all, too, I want to show you over here, a lot of these cards I'm going to show you come from the Daily Crystal Inspiration deck. It's a really nice deck. And also, we're going to look at the Crystal Grid Oracle. I think I have a couple cards pulled from there too. Anyway, those are two nice decks that show you nice things about the stones with also interesting meanings behind them. So we'll start off with this, and I'm going to just pull things out of the tray, and I'm going to move probably at a quick clip. So this card, and it just happens to say prioritize your health. So if someone's looking for a message in this reading, you got it. And this is just a beautiful piece. I'm just going to highlight. Now this just is a coating of the crystal, where it's predominantly, a rock substrate underneath, but I just found that pretty fascinating. It's almost like one of those specialty gourmet cookies where they put the icing on the top and you got the cookie on the bottom. But it has a beautiful feel and texture, and again, as I mentioned in the first show, and I do invite you to go visit that show, maybe even ahead of this one. It doesn't really matter, it doesn't need to be in order, but just in that I cover, a lot of the properties and things behind some of these stones there as well. But anyway, that's this stone, and what I meant to say with that is that sometimes stones just call to you for many different reasons. This one just jumped out to me to be a healer. It fits nice in the hand, and I could see it and feel the vibe on it, doing well to help with healing. But different stones call to us for different reasons. So that was my reason behind selecting this one. Now, also, I thought it was unusual how it's just kind of like this coating of a turquoise on top. Now, this is celestite. This is pretty heavy. This particular one is beautiful, feels really good in the hand. And again, I would say, like this tray of all of these ones I'm going to show you, I selected expressly for, keeping in mind that these are going to be healers. The energy feels beautiful in it. And as we've seen before, even in the previous show, I covered this a little bit, it's celestite. So here's from this deck. It gives a nice presentation of what these stones look like. If you're interested in learning more about crystals, I recommend that deck is a great place to start, just as almost use these as flashcards to see which stone is which. and it has a nice, backing to the card. Anyway, this message is soothe your soul. So celestite, yes, is a good one for that. Then we have, we'll get to our amethyst. This one just says, trust your intuition. I'm going to put that over here. This is a really pretty one because some amethysts, yes, have a deep color like that card showed, deep purple. This one more is just like a more gentle lavender, and they're kind of more young little teeth, or little crystals on this one. They're not really massive crystals. And again, just something about holding this in the hand, it fits perfectly. It has a little bit of a smoothness, a polish to it, and it's also rough. So there's just something very magical about this, and I very much look forward to use that in a healing application. Okay, then we have a beautiful one here, sodalite. This is in the rough format, and just something really called to me about this too, especially with the banding on it. And the card from the deck talks about, what does it say? Speak your truth. So yes, it's blue, aligning with the throat chakra. And then we have a couple of cards from the deck. It just could apply to the crystal I'll show you next. Clear quartz, saying get crystal clear. And then the other one is Lemurian quartz, which I featured on the first show as well about crystals. Practice patience. And here is another example of a beautiful stone from the recent show. And I like this because, again, once again, it's got like smooth sections of it and shiny. And then it also has a bit of roughness on the other side. And for me personally, I either like, I tend to gravitate more toward the rough stones for healing, but there's also times for the smooth ones, and especially when there's a beautiful mix of both, textures in one stone, I tend to like that as well. All right, now let me just re-emphasize that, we have the rough stones and crystals, but we also have the tumbled stones, and they look like that, nice and polished. In the case of the sodalite, like I showed you down here, they look like this. I'll just put them down here. These are the tumbled ones, so they're obviously more polished, and they range in any color of that blue. Can be really dark and rich, or it can be a little bit softer for the sodalite. Now, I did just go through that whole tray, and now I'm going to give you some of the meanings, and I'll just kind of move the camera like this so you can take a look. So the one on the right here, the turquoise and matrix, we had the little meaning from the card saying prioritize your health. So this turquoise is good for purification, serenity, protection, wisdom, balance, strength, friendship, love, positive thinking, and sensitivity. Since it is a purification stone, it can dispel negative energy, and if you wear it, it can be used to protect you, obviously, against either outside influences that might be negative or pollutants in the atmosphere. It's a balancing stone. It aligns with all the chakras. It can stabilize mood swings and instill inner calm. It also can promote with creative problem solving and assist you with that. And it can stimulate even romantic love, apparently. It can also aid in absorption of nutrients, enhance the immune system, stimulate regeneration of tissue, and heal the whole body. Now, with any of these things that I tell you coming up, these are just things where it's known that where it can help. Now, every single body is different, so just because whatever I read off doesn't mean that it will necessarily apply with you or whoever you're trying to heal. That involves a whole nother level of connecting with the stones and seeing if whoever you're looking to heal, if they connect with it as well, and a whole nother magic kind of happens with the whole thing. I'm just rattling off suggested uses. And then it's up to you to test it out with some of these things and see if you agree, or if you experience even new and other ways of healing or bringing, upliftment or good things into somebody's life as you work with them or wear them, and to yourself. All right, it says turquoise can also potentially purify lungs, soothe and clear sore throats, heal the eyes, including cataracts, and it neutralizes over acidity. And it can benefit you in terms of rheumatism, gout, stomach problems, and viral infections. So this source, which is going to be one of sources of a few, happens to be from Charmsoflight.com. I don't know anything about what they sell or do, so I'm not necessarily promoting that. I'm just saying that's a great source to kind of have a look around and see what they talk about with these crystals. And of course, if there's anything more, that's up to you that you're interested in there. All right, now let's just talk about some of the properties of celestite. That was a lengthy description of what turquoise can do, but there's, I'll just you know, some of these stones have like a really long list, others just might have a few, so we'll just kind of get to an average on this as I move through the show. Celestite is good with assisting with trying to connect with spirit guides, communication. It can help with treating things with the eyes and ears, eliminating toxins from the body, and repairs at cellular level. It can also relax muscle tension and calm mental torment. And that one happens to come from healingwithcrystals.net.au. And again, same thing applies. I'm not promoting any specific thing, just on my cursory search around the internet. These are some of the descriptions that seem to click with me and make sense of being true. However, do your own research as well. Okay, amethyst, we had that message of trust your intuition. I'll bring that into the foreground here. I'm going to bring both forms. And that one includes, increases nobility, spiritual awareness, psychic abilities, inner peace and healing of the body, mind, and soul, positive transformation, meditation, balance, relieving stress, and good for communication. It's said to be a powerful and protective stone, guarding against psychic attack, transmuting energy into love, and protecting the wearer from all types of harm. I also know that it helps with, say somebody has had too much to drink in a negative, toxic way. It supposedly is good to help soothe or work against any kind of hangover situation. Can also help alleviating sadness and grief, and like others, dissolving negativity. It can calm and stimulate the mind, helping you become more focused, enhancing memory and improving motivation. Can help with relieving insomnia. Can help with cleansing the blood and relieving physical, emotional, and psychological pain or stress. So there's a lot. Again, eases headaches and tension, can reduce bruising, swellings, injuries, and hearing disorders, and it also can help assist with anything going wrong in the lungs and respiratory tract, skin conditions, and many other things. So once again, you'll find that a lot of these stones and crystals can help with a lot of different things that might be going wrong in the body, or help improve connections with communication, connecting in with the divine, with spirit guides and everything else. So if any are repeating, that's okay, because a lot of these stones have the capacity to do a lot of things. They're not just like one stone does one thing. All right, now when we look at sodalite, I'll come over here. We have, the message was speak your truth, but it's also a stone connected with logic, intelligence, emotional balance, intuition, clarity, truth, and perception. It can bring order and calmness to the mind, can encourage rational thought, objectivity, truth, and intuition, along with verbalization of feelings. It can bring emotional balance and calm panic attacks, boost the immune system, and overcome calcium deficiencies. It can also work against radiation damage by soaking up electromagnetic smog. It can treat the throat, vocal cords, larynx, and it can help with hoarseness and digestive disorders. It's also said that it can cool fevers, lower blood pressure, and stimulate the absorption of body fluids. And it can also work against, it can help prevent insomnia. All right, we'll go to the crystal. And actually, let me pull these up to here. Okay, so we've got that quartz piece. And that involves harmony, energy, healing, psychic abilities, clarity, calmness. It's known as the master healer, and also an amplifier, amplifying energy and thought, as well as the effect of other crystals. It can absorb, store, and release, and regulate energy, as we've seen with what it does in a quartz movement watch or clock. It can draw off negative energy of all kinds, neutralize background radiation. I did mention that in my first show, part 1 on the crystals, and including any electromagnetic interference or petrochemical emanations. And it can do a whole nother level of things with balancing and cleansing, and it's a powerful meditation stone. I actually keep one around my neck, and I find that it feels good to walk around your daily errands and things, to have it on you. Let's see, and yeah, again, it can be a balancer for any number of other stones. Okay, now we're going to move on. Let's see, give me a moment here. I think my notes are out of order. Give me 1 minute. I skipped a page. All right, now we're going to move on to our little second grouping here. and I'll explain why I grouped these together. Each has a little story here. Okay, so let's go first. I'm going to go out of order of my own notes. That may or may not be a good idea. Hold on one second. Want to not forget these points on these things. Hold on, I'm at the last page here. Give me a minute. Okay, I want to bring up what's going on over here, up here, because these particular crystals came up in a live chat question, and it was a conversation I was having with Higher Vibrations on her show on November 13th, 2024. It's in the live section of my channel here, or you can go look at the channel Higher Vibrations also and find it there. So there's a very excellent question in the from the audience there, and the question involved Carnelian, Orthoceras, excuse me, and Tektite. So I didn't give an answer that I wanted to give actually at the time of the live. I think I got distracted and wandered all over the place. I started off with Orthoceras, saying yes, it was a very earth energy type of stone, but I want to give a little more clarification on that. And if the very kind viewer is out there listening to this, thank you for your great questions. So there was a question about, what can Orthoceras do? Now, I don't own a piece, so I'm just showing you a picture. This is a fossil, so an what do you call it? A cephalopod fossil, and it's usually a white beige looking fossil on a black rock and background, and they're saying the genus of this thing is the nautiloid cephalopod, and this can occur around the Baltic Sea and Sweden area. They're saying it's from the Middle Ordovician marine period. Their limestones can be found in Morocco and other places. It says they were plentiful in the Paleozoic oceans, and they're considered very common. So depending on where you go, you can probably, just pick them up all over the place. It has a very strong earth and heart energy, and it's said to unblock energy pathways and giving rise to new vibrant energy, and invokes living in the moment and staying true to ourselves. And it can help cast off negativity and release karmic attachments. And so there's a lot that can do. So if that calls to you, that's a good one to pick up. For me, it just personally, I don't resonate. I find it beautiful and fascinating, but I'm happy to hear all of the properties and things that it can do. All right, I don't have a piece of Tektite either, but that was a part of the question. So just very simply, I just want to touch on it, that it's excellent for increasing the vibration of the auric field and psychic vision and intuition. It's also very helpful for social situations, connecting and attracting others to your energy. And there are many other things that it can do. It supposedly balances the energy flow and may reverse a chakra that is spinning the wrong way. And again, sorry I don't have a picture of it. I forgot to bring one out. I wanted to say what I wanted to say about Tektite is it's another one of those space rocks. If you look at my first part 1 show on the crystals, and apparently Tektites are the result of a meteor impact that ejected sediments into space. And then upon the re-entry, the Tektite surface acquires a molten or pitted texture due to the extreme stress of heat and friction. And it said the word Tektite comes from the Greek word tektos, meaning molten. And again, I'll get my references down in the description area below. Some of these, I'm just reading verbatim for now. I did cover some of my other more personal uses for some of these crystals in the part 1 show, if you want to go hop over there as well. So this is another one of those space rocks. Like it says too that it has a very high frequency, the Tektite, and then it can work and combine well with moldavite, jasper, and other varieties of quartz, chalcedony, lapis lazuli, opal, and petrified wood. Okay, so now let's go to stones I do have on the table, and that's carnelian. So those are these reddish ones here, and we have a card. It says, message with that today is feed your creativity, carnelian. And what's interesting is, I don't know why, but we have kind of some jazzy party music that just started between that and the rooster. Those are going to be some noises beyond my control. So hey, maybe just livens up the show a bit. Welcome it, and I hope it's not too distracting for you. All right, so let's get to this for the carnelian. The healing properties, it can have a soothing and warm grounding energy. Actually, I'm going to just move this around a little. It has different little colors to it. Soothing and grounding energy, warm grounding energy, that can make one feel safe and loved. And it helps to understand the circle of life and release all fear of death and the unknown. It's a highly protective stone, and it can cleanse the energy of everything that it comes into contact with. Cleansing energy then in turn can attract abundance, prosperity, and all good things. So it looks very good as far as it evokes this essence of home, that place where we can be ourselves and be loved for who we are. It encourages us to find community of friends and family who will support us in our growth. And let's see. And then, we in turn, it promotes us serving and helping others. Let's see. There's so much this stone does. I highly recommend you go search more on your own. It also can help heal emotional trauma caused by abuse. It can help us be willing to be vulnerable again with people who are good and kind. It can protect us from anger, envy, and other negative emotions, and encourages us to feel centered and happy. There are many other things it can do toward helping with mental healing and physical healing, such as when you want to bring your body back into vibrant health. They're saying, it said here in this one link, that it can act as a ray of sunshine that makes you feel confident and excited about life. It can also help break addictive habits, particularly alcohol and drug abuse. And it reminds us that the opposite of addiction is connection, and that facing our problems is always smarter than hiding from them. It can help you come home to yourself and to the people who love you. And it's an excellent talisman for any issues affecting the spleen, kidneys, pancreas, intestines, and the reproductive system. Because, looking at it, it's the red-orange family, which would correspond with your chakras, your base root chakras. Okay, and I think that'll be about it. I will just say, too, according to this one source, and again, try this out on your own, it is said that it can also be a comforting talisman to hold when we need to pass a kidney stone. So that's very interesting as well. All right, so now we're going to hop back for this little group and cover the remaining stones on the table. And again, hopefully they keep it clean on the music in the background. I hope there are no offensive words, but it sounds like of a more jazzy nature and not like a hardcore rap, so I think we're going to be okay. And I guess it's happening for a reason. I don't feel to stop and re-record, so I hope you enjoy it along with me. Hopefully they have a good taste in music. All right, so this I wanted to show is African bloodstone. And I did refer to it in my first part show, but it was kind of, I don't think I really held it up close. So there's a little bit of, like a white gray in there, and the red flecks on like a darker green background are pretty much, the known characteristics, the giveaways here for African bloodstone or bloodstone. The card associated with it for the message there is just get up, get moving, and then they show a picture again of what African bloodstone or bloodstone is. And then I looked everywhere for my piece of unakite here, and unakite says live in the now. It also has some kind of olive and green background with kind of more coral pink, not so much red flecks in it. And I think on one of my previous shows I accidentally called out one of my small tumbled stones as being bloodstone, but in fact it was unakite. So I did look everywhere. I scoured everywhere for my little piece that I had in the first show, but I couldn't find it because I wanted to give you a side-by-side comparison. So that's just my little heads up. If you're looking at bloodstone and unakite, just make sure you know which is which. They can be confused if you're first learning about all of this, and even if you know a little bit more. Like it fooled me. I just totally blanked and called it the wrong thing. So this is my clarification on that for the part one of the show. All right, now we're going to look at a couple other things. This one I might have called out in error as jade, but this is emerald, this particular piece. So you can see the coloring, got the deep green, and jade, can be all over the place in its coloring. So, a lot of us, we learn as we go with some of these things too about what is what until you get really good at looking at all the different traits in terms of color, texture, and any kind of patternings in these things. So actually I'm just going to name these all and then I'll read the specifics. This is called Prehnite, or Prehnite, depending on how you want to pronounce it. That's a beautiful green stone. Then we have peacock ore. I did mention in the first part, but I have a little more clarification on what it can do in this show. This one is called fuchsite. And then we have septarian. And so let me get into this little cluster, and I'll leave the camera kind of like this. Pardon me if I move it around a bit. I'm just holding it. I don't have it on a tripod, pretty much on purpose. Okay, so African bloodstone, I'll just hit a few of the highlights on the healing stuff, or just what it involves. It involves abundance, alignment, organization, smooth energy flow, generosity, idealism, good fortune, purification. It's excellent for blood cleansing and powerful, and is a powerful healer. So in that case, we have, bloodstone, and it's saying good for blood cleanser. It makes sense. It heightens intuition and increases creativity. It's grounding and protecting, and it draws off negative environmental energy, helping to overcome influences such as geopathic or electromagnetic stress. It can, stimulate dreaming and is a powerful revitalizer. It can give courage and teaches you how to avoid dangerous situations. It encourages selflessness and idealism. It can assist in acting in the present moment. And it can also help with the mind, dispelling confusion, enhancing decision making. And it does a whole nother, whole round of things. It not only can purify and fortify the blood, it can detoxify the liver, intestines, kidneys, spleen, and bladder. It also can regulate and support blood flow and aids in circulation. And there are so many other things that, I defer you to check that out. It says it's also helpful in healing blood-related cancers, such as leukemia. And it can also help with inflammations or any, autoimmune things. So, again, it's good to have maybe one of these around. And even if you don't know how to use it and apply it as in healing, one easy way to incorporate these things is to just put it on the bedside next to you or whoever might have any kind of the ailments, or just could use a little boost of the energy and good things that come out of these crystals, the vibrations and frequencies of them. All right, the Unakite, which I said, can be confused sometimes with the African bloodstone. That one encourages live in the now. Wait, where's the little card here? I'm going to put these cards side by side so you can see them again. Okay, so we have Unakite and then bloodstone. So the Unakite is good for living in the now, balancing physical emotions, and grounding. It's a stone of vision, they say. It can balance emotions with spirituality, and it does grounding when needed. It can support convalescence and recovery from major illnesses, and treat reproductive system, and stimulates healthy pregnancies. There's so many things that this one can do as well, and I again invite you to look up more, on that. It can also help with the growth of skin tissue and hair, apparently. All right, when we get to the emerald here in the center, the emeralds is associated with love, romance, joy, cleansing, intuition, clairvoyance, faith, serenity, intelligence, clear vision, truth, memory, communication, physical and emotional healing. It's known as the stone of successful love, can bring loyalty. Let's see, I'm going to skip around. It can stimulate the heart chakra because it is green, and green and pink are associated with the heart chakra. And let's see, it can also help focus intention and raising consciousness, can bring positive actions and enhances psychic abilities, open up clairvoyance, and it can stimulate the use of greater mental capacity. And let's see, it can also assist in inciting activity and focus in one's actions, strengthen memory, and give clarity of thought. And it inspires a deep inner knowing, promoting truth and discernment. It can also help with the heart, lungs, spine, and muscular system, and aid in recovery after infectious illness, helps sinuses, and soothes the eyes, improving vision. Has a detox effect on the liver and alleviates diabetes and rheumatism. So a lot of great things there. Now we're going to move to fuchsite. I'm going to come down here, and that's okay right there. You can't tell right now with the lighting, but it's got a little bit of a metallic, sorry for the focus. Yeah, maybe you can see it there. It's got a little metallic fleck to it. Very interesting. This is just a little piece, and let's just see what fuchsite can do. It's a variety of muscovite, or a form of mica. You can tell when you touch it. It's got like the sheets, kind of that consistency. And let's see, it can, give me 1 minute here. It can heal mind, body, and spirit, and it's dubbed a stone of health. And let's see what it can do. It can help with recovery from ailments or diseases. It's said to aid capillary and heart function, can help with visual and nasal issues, can act as a pain reliever by boosting your recuperative abilities and helping to improve functions of your immune system. And it's thought to help with alleviating insomnia, allergies, muscle aches, and chest infections or coughs. Can help emotionally too, because it has it's high vibed. It can help with love and compassion. And let's see, if it's saying too, if you feel like the weight of the world is on your shoulders, it might ease that heavy load. Okay, it might also help bring a sense of inner peace. And it's a good meditative stone, good for balancing energy, and a lot more. But now we're going to go to, I'm going to pull over here, the peacock ore. It has copper components, giving some of this beautiful color. You can see why they call it peacock ore here. Let's move to that one. So it's also known as bornite, and it's a copper mineral mined in Mexico. And it's known, of course, for these iridescent colors. And nicknamed peacock ore, by early miners supposedly. It's a stone of happiness and joy, can help tune into positive forces in life and channel that energy to others. And it's a stone of joyfulness. And let's see, it complements an understanding that there's nothing wrong in any aspect of one's incarnation. Everything is for purposeful good. It can assist with separating positive from negative and allows you to understand the distinct difference. And this is calling it one of the strongest healing stones. Actually, that I guess could be debatable, but depends on your use and experience with it. It has the ability to align every chakra when applied to a given chakra. And the energy within it creates a circular clockwise motion. And let's see why. Okay, even though it's placed on one chakra, it will affect the other 6. That's interesting and something to look further into. I'm going to jump ahead. For physical things, when used for healing, they're saying it's really good for the area above the navel chakra, and which is like 1 inch above the navel. And it assists with the flow of adrenaline. And it says usually this is done when somebody's in an over-acid state. And so this peacock ore supposedly can increase the alkalinity, so going more alkaline. Also can be used to lower calcium levels in the body and would work well in treating arthritic conditions. Okay, so there's so many other things addressing that it can help with emotional and mental with healing. But I'm going to leave it there for now. And again, defer you to go look at this in more detail on your own if this is something that interests you. And as always with these things, it depends, like when you pick up a particular crystal, if it feels like it's got that everything that they mentioned in there, or you'll just pick it up and know, like, I want to use this for the emotional or the physical or whatever. Okay, now let's move along to Septarian. It's an interesting stone. A lot of people gravitate to this right away. They really like it. It's got like these brownish bands on a more, kind of yellowish beige background. I gotta say, it does nothing for me, but I know tons of people just go right for it. And when I read what it can do, you'll see why. It doesn't mean it's bad. It's just, I just have certain stones I click with more than others, just like each one of us will. So Septarian is formed from aragonite, calcite, and limestone, and it says sometimes barite. And it has healing properties as well, as we know. Let's see. The property within it of aragonite can be good, excellent for removing stress and anxiety. The calcite part can amplify and clear the energy field and help with memory. The limestone part can connect with the root chakra and can help ground, the body and spirit. And there's so much more to it. The barite in there, also called desert rose, is excellent for grounding and harnessing earth energy. It can clear blockages in the upper chakras, allowing it to heighten your intuitive visionary abilities. So again, there's a lot to this stone, and I see why people love it. It is very earthy, feels very earthy and grounding. Okay, all right, now let's move on. We have a whole little dish here, and I'm losing my light, so hopefully I can get to this other grouping. If not, I'll just call it quits early, and we'll do a part 3 on this crystals thing, and I'll kind of recreate this setup. So for now, we're going to be looking at this little group of slices. And, oh, you know what? No, we're not. I forgot about Prehnite. Give me a moment. Didn't cover this one, which is gorgeous. This is Prehnite, or Prehnite, I like to call it. So light green with these darker green patternings in them. Let me put that over here. Whoops, if it won't roll away. Hold on, I have a little thing for this. There we go. Let me set that up. Okay, so this is the sphere form of it. Of course, it comes in many forms. I also have a Prehnite bracelet on right now, so that shows you there's many forms of this thing. Okay, so Prehnite involves truth, calmness, sincerity, sensitivity. It's considered a stone of unconditional love and a crystal to heal the healer. It enhances precognition and inner knowing, enables you to always be prepared, calms the environment, and brings peace and protection. It can teach you how to be in harmony with nature and the elemental forces. It says it's helpful for decluttering, letting go of possessions you no longer need, I can use that right now because I'm in the middle of trying to do that and having a hard time, having some challenges. Aiding those who hoard possessions or love because of an inner lack. It can alleviate nightmares, phobias, and deep fears, uncovering, healing the dis-ease that creates them. It's a stone for dreaming and remembering, and beneficial for hyperactive children, apparently, and the causes that underlie the condition. Prehnite heals the kidneys and bladder, thymus gland, shoulders, chest, and lungs. It's said it can also treat gout and blood disorders, and can repair the connective tissue in the body, and can stabilize malignancy. So that's a lot that this can do as well. And again, all depends on if it resonates with you and whoever you're healing, right? So those are some beautiful qualities. Now I do realize we are losing the light, and given that I don't know if there's a party that's going to amp up in the background in the neighborhood, I don't know if already you could hear over it during my talk. I think now we're going to do part 3. Didn't plan on it, but everything you see over here that I'm going to preview here, we'll just hold that off for a part 3. But I think what I will do is we'll finish off on a happy note, which is one of these 3 little hearts, tumbled hearts. And I think what we'll do is we'll cover this beautiful Bumblebee Jasper, okay? And then we'll leave the rest for part 3. Again, my apologies, I didn't plan on this for a couple reasons, but now I see that I had to be kind of stymied by the getting dark earlier than I thought, because I don't know if the party's going to ramp up any minute in the background. Okay. Hey, more power to them. I hope they're having fun. Clearly I was not invited, but that's okay. I don't even know them. All right, hold on. Let's see what we got for Bumblebee Jasper. I just know with personal experience, I did wear that when I was treating a loved one in the hospital. I think I touched on that in part 1. And I would wear it around my neck. I'd wear a tumbled piece. And it is a stone of happiness, and promotes, you know, kind of like that sunshiny bumblebee kind of energy, right? And healing, you know, bumblebees are associated with honey and good things for the body. And I did notice, you know, I'd wear it with intention as I'd walk through a hospital or healing, you know, facility. And I'd just hold it, touch it like a little touchstone around my neck under my shirt. And I would just say, you know, I just imagine this entire hospital filled with everybody bathed in golden sunshine light, and they're uplifted and healed just by my walking through there with that stone on, right? And I like to believe that it did help lift the energy in the place. But anyway, the Bumblebee Jasper says it encourages you and it promotes complete happiness and joy, encourages celebration of life's small moments, promotes honesty, especially with yourself, helps you achieve your dreams, frees blocked energy from the body. It can stimulate mental activity, relieving symptoms of allergies, and can facilitate triumph over seemingly impossible. So I would agree with a lot of that. But the main thing of this one I'd like to say is absolutely, I believe it is a really good healer. And it also is a great reminder if you just want to bring good energy to somebody, especially if they're a little run down or having some more serious ailments. It's a good thing just to have on you, because not only will it help somebody right around you who might be suffering those challenges, but it also can help uplift you in some very trying times. And again, this is just a really pretty piece. And of course, like all crystals, they come in a variety of forms. This happens to be a beautiful polished or tumbled heart, but they also come in the form of the, you know, the beads, the beaded bracelets, like I've got the shungite and the prehnite there, jewelry, cabochons, those little like rounded half dome things that are in rings and other jewelry. And it can be raw, it can come in, a number of varieties, also in little figurines, and pretty much everything that I've mentioned in part 1 of my crystals talk. All right, so we'll bookmark it for here, and we'll get into, some of the fun things like the trees and the more really earthy stuff in terms of like the thunder eggs and other fun protection stones going on in the background. So I just want to say for right now, thank you for being here, and I'll see you again at part 3. Thanks for joining me here for part 2. Take care, everyone, and like I always like to say, tremendous peace and love to you. Lavender Sky Panther. Bye.